I used to hate the idea of going to therapy when I was 11 years old. I just never wanted to do it because it actually just made me feel stupid or crazy that I couldn't solve my problems on my own. But today at 28 years old, I feel like it's one of the most helpful, profitable, and productive things that I've ever done in my life and that I've really wanted to put time into recently. I take my personal development and my spiritual development very seriously because everything that I create into my life, whether it be my wealth, my relationships, my health, or my creativity, my artistry with content creation, or even how I articulate myself because I just love talking about things, I learned that all my growth in those areas expands and is directly proportional to the amount of personal development that I do on myself, the amount of inner work that I do. Because if this is not set, if this is not aligned, then everything else will fall apart. Growing up, I was sick for the majority of my life. I had really bad skin diseases and acne and just health problems that took me out of school for months at a time. Because of that, I had a lot of self-hatred. I even tried killing myself when I was 17 because I just didn't like myself very much. And when I was 17, I spent around 5 days in a mental institution. That actually taught me a lot about myself. But yeah, therapy was around, especially with what I was going through at a younger age. But I just never wanted to do it. For me, it's also been really helpful as an entrepreneur who sees the value of therapy. I feel like a lot of times in this space, and being a business owner and also being a man, there's a lot of masculine egotistical beliefs on getting therapy because it makes us weak or whatever. But yeah, it's been really helpful for me to have someone to have a dialogue with the things that I want to improve on in my life and just my habits, my unhelpful thought patterns from just traumatic experiences from my past, my business injuries, my relationship injuries, all those things. Entrepreneurship overall is just the ultimate spiritual classroom where you get to learn so much about yourself, your fears, your desires, the root of those things, why you want what you want and what you really want. Things like how others perceive you, how you lead a team, or do you even want to be a leader? Like who exactly do you want to be in the context of creating a product or service for the world? Those things all get tested when you run a business. It requires you to be radically and uncomfortably honest with yourself almost every day and in so many different domains of your psyche. I think what helped me open up to the idea of having a therapist is equating it to having like a physical or personal trainer. A personal trainer or a physical trainer trains your physical body, but a therapist, what I find is it's like a personal trainer for your mind. I started opening myself up to the idea of therapy because over the past few years, I was in relationships that really just tore me apart and recreated a lot of self-hate within myself. They ripped apart my psyche. They ripped apart my self-identity. They ripped apart so much of my confidence. And again, I don't like blaming people, but it's just what happened. It was the outcome of the experience. And I'm trying to be better. I don't like blaming others for what happens to me. I'm the type of person that usually takes radical ownership, extreme ownership. If you've read the book by Jocko Willink, I take responsibility for my life, but it doesn't change the fact that shit gets tough. It's hard and it's a lonely journey. Being a leader or building your own thing that you want to work and create financial freedom, like it's not easy to do this. Anyone who says it's easy is over romanticizing the journey of doing it. I blamed myself for the quality of the decisions that I've made in my choice of partners and didn't see how my choice in my partner would actually expand to all other areas of my life. I'm in a stage right now where I'm really just rebuilding myself, my creative self that I talked about on this channel before, but also just my whole self-identity, all my confidence and how I used to carry myself before. It was so much freedom and I was just so much more in tune with my inner child, but now I'm like a scared little dog hiding in a corner. And so I realized at this point in my life, I don't have to do everything alone. And I also at 28 can't do everything alone. One of the most humbling lessons of being a business consultant and a business owner and basically in charge of my own financial destiny is the idea that I can't do everything alone. And I need and should be able to rely on others to regulate myself. There's a balance to that. I still believe in self-sustainability and balancing myself and my own emotions, but it definitely doesn't hurt, especially when I'm making a million different decisions a day, a million different micro decisions a day to build a product, to create an offer, to solve problems constantly. Even my whole wardrobe, my fashion is all just a black shirt and a white shirt and black pants, just so I can make one less tiny micro decision. And so a therapist in the same way as, I guess, a black and white clothes, I guess it's not really a good analogy, but a therapist also helps me free up that mental and emotional space once every week, get the gunk out of my head and actually get feedback from an outside perspective and just have like a back and forth dialogue with the thing that I'm trying to understand. Overall, what I want to share is that at this point in my life, therapy has been very helpful for me. And if you can find the right therapist with a similar spiritual equation as you. And there's also something about having someone who's legally obligated to talk to me once a week at 10 a.m. to just process things. And one of the ways that I feel like helps me grow a lot faster too is AI. I also found it really helpful to find a therapist who is comfortable with me recording our conversations. I use an app called Otter. It looks like this. So there's a little widget here. So if I click it, it starts recording my conversation and transcribing everything. So what I'll do is I'll have a conversation with my therapist, and then I'll have an intention for something I'm really trying to understand in my life and navigate through. I'll press record and we'll just dive in. I'll try to be as vulnerable and as raw and real as I can. And then from there, I'll have a whole transcript of everything that we talked about. And then what I'll do is I'll throw the transcript into ChatGPT, and then I have a prompt that I use to analyze my conversation even deeper. I've trained it to be an expert therapist and also an expert in personality types, and then give me feedback on the conversation. Summarize the key themes that I'm exploring, the key patterns, and then give me actionable insights or actionable steps, actionable things that I can do to improve on the areas that I talked about in that session. And then to take it one more step further, because I love layers and layers of self-reflection, I'll take it into an interlinked notes app called Obsidian that I can further reflect on it. I can use the output that ChatGPT gave me as journal prompts. So I'll write and reflect even more. But then what Obsidian does is it allows me to interconnect ideas and keywords based on what I'm talking about. I journal a lot in this app about my life experiences. And so basically what this means is I can cross-reference all of my patterns and how that's shown up in different parts of my life to really get a bird's eye view of my habits and the things that I do when certain things happen. I have a keyword for anxiety. So every single time I've ever written about anxiety, or every single time I've written about imposter syndrome, those moments where I've written deeply about those life experiences will show up, and I can cross compare, like, okay, what happened in this circumstance versus what happened in this circumstance. Obsidian makes it really easy to link my thinking like that and form new pathways of thought that I've walked down before and highlight those so I can be more conscious of my habits and just how I function, how I can improve those things. For example, today, if I look at, so this is what I got. I have fear of ruining my relationships. Right now I'm learning my leadership style. I'm identifying areas within how I communicate that has different layers of perfectionism, because like that's what I'm trying to heal with this YouTube videos, because I'm trying to learn how to make videos again with stream of consciousness without trying to organize and structure everything. I'm trying to just trust my organic stream of consciousness. But yeah, ChatGPT organized all those ideas, even though like it was a scattered conversation. It makes it really easy to reflect on the main things and even give me some things that I could do. Like this one, it says, reflect on leadership wins. Take time to celebrate your success in structuring meetings, creating outlines, and guiding your team. I can go into my Obsidian, I can cross-reference all the times where I've had a win in my leadership. Again, I think AI is really powerful for not just getting things done, but it's also extremely useful for self-reflection and personal development. But anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys like I love myself. And again, if you wanted the AI prompt for self-reflection or the app that I use to record my conversations to study them deeper, those links are in the description below. And if you made it all the way through, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on therapy? I just want to see, like, the people who are watching, like, who are you guys? I want to learn about you guys. I want it to be a space where we can all share our journeys and grow in this weird life human thing together. So yeah, let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on therapy? What would you like to see more of on this channel? Because I'm re-entering back into YouTube and I don't really know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm just going to talk about things until something hits and you guys like something, and then I'll do more of that thing. Talk soon in the next one, whatever that is.